What's up, Warriors fans? Today we've got a lot to unpack. And honestly, this might be one of the most important conversations we've had about this team in a while. After everything that went down yesterday afternoon and into the night, the entire landscape of the Western Conference just shifted in a big way. Let's start with the headline that's on everyone's mind. Kevin Durant is officially a Houston Rocket. Yeah, you heard that right. The saga is over, the speculation can stop, and now we've got to deal with the reality of KD wearing that Rockets jersey next season. Now let's talk about how this even happened, because honestly it's got a lot of us shaking our heads in disbelief. The Phoenix Suns, for reasons that still don't make sense, decided to pull the trigger on this deal way too early. Houston didn't just get Durant for free, but when you look at what they gave up, you've got to wonder what Phoenix was thinking. The Rockets sent over Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 10th overall pick in this week's draft, and 5 future first-round picks. Yes, 5 future first-rounders. That's a massive haul, but at the same time it still feels like the Suns could have gotten so much more if they just had a little patience and waited until July 1st. Because here's the thing, and Warriors fans know exactly what I'm talking about here. Golden State was lurking. The Warriors had a package ready to go. They could have put Jonathan Kuminga on the table, thrown in Moses Moody, added Buddy Hield and Brandon Pajimski, and maybe even sweeten the deal with a first-rounder. That's a pretty serious offer right there, but Phoenix didn't want to wait. They didn't want to see what the best possible deal could be after the draft dust settled. They just jumped at the first big flashy offer, and now here we are. But look, the bigger issue here isn't just that the Warriors missed out on Durant again. It's that the Rockets got bigger, stronger, and a whole lot scarier. Let's take a second to look at what their lineup is going to look like next season. At point guard, they've got Fred VanVleet, who stands at about 6'3". At the 2, it's Amen Thompson coming in at 6 feet 6 inches. At the 3, you've got Kevin Durant, and let's be real here. They list him at 6'11", but anyone who's watched basketball knows he's at least 7 feet tall. At the 4, there's Jabari Smith Jr., another 6'10" player. And anchoring the middle at center is Alperen Sengun, a legit 7-footer. And that's just the starting lineup off the bench. They've got guys like Steven Adams to bring in even more size and toughness, plus Cam Whitmore, who's already shown flashes of being a real problem for opposing defenses. This team didn't just add Durant, they've built a roster that's long, athletic, and ready to physically overwhelm teams. And honestly, that should have every Warriors fan a little concerned right now. Because if you've been following the history between Golden State and Houston over the past decade, you know that the Warriors have owned the Rockets in the playoffs. Let's not forget this domination goes all the way back to the early days of the dynasty. In 2015, that's when Steph, Clay, and Draymond took down the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals. Back then it was James Harden and Dwight Howard leading Houston. And let's be real, that was back when Dwight still had something left in the tank. Not the version of him that's been bouncing around the league the past few years. Then in 2016, it happened again. The 7-3 and 9 Warriors made easy work of the Rockets in the first round. Fun fact, JB Bickerstaff was actually the head coach for Houston during that series. Just a little blast from the past there. Fast forward a few more years and we got that Mike D'Antoni team featuring Chris Paul and James Harden. That group actually pushed the Warriors to 7 games in the Western Conference Finals. And yeah, that was probably the closest Houston has ever come to knocking off Golden State during this era. Then fast forward to this past season. Once again, Warriors versus Rockets in the playoffs, and once again the Warriors came out on top. But let's not sugarcoat what happened in that series. Golden State was up 3-1 after the first 4 games. They should have closed it out in Game 5, but they didn't. Houston, with all their youth and athleticism, fought back and forced a Game 7. In the end, the Warriors' championship experience pulled them through, but that was with the Rockets as they were without Kevin Durant. Now with Durant in the mix, I'm not so sure the Warriors could make it 5-4-5 in postseason series against Houston. Whether it's next postseason or the one after that, the odds just got a whole lot tougher, and here's why that's a big deal. After the next playoff runs, Golden State's championship window is pretty much closed. This core is aging, and we all know that. If they want to win one more ring with Steph, Clay, and Draymond leading the way, it's going to have to happen either next year or the year after. And if they're going to do that, they're going to have to find a way to get through this new-look Rockets team at least once. And that's what has me worried. Because look, if Houston was able to come back from a 3-2 deficit without KD, what's going to happen now that they've added a 2-time Finals MVP to their roster? That playoff experience the Warriors have counted on for years may not be enough this time. On top of that, Golden State's lack of length has been a glaring weakness for years now. We've talked about it before and we're talking about it again today. This team is just too small to keep up with the size and athleticism of the top teams in the West. And let's not forget about what happened last night. The Oklahoma City Thunder took care of business against the Indiana Pacers. And that should serve as another wake-up call for the Warriors. Because not only do they have to worry about Houston now, but they're also going to have to deal with Oklahoma City if they want to make it back to the NBA Finals. That Thunder lineup is no joke. They're running a twin tower setup with Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein down low. Plus, they've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the point, a 6'6" floor general who can score from anywhere. Then you've got Alex Caruso bringing that glue guy energy that every championship team needs, plus Jalen Williams, who absolutely broke out this season and looks like a future all-star. So let's put it plainly, the road to the finals in the West just got a whole lot more complicated for Golden State. The Rockets are loaded, the Thunder are ascending, and the Warriors, well, they've got work to do, and it starts with one simple fact: they need to get bigger. I've said it before and I'll say it again, they have to get longer, stronger, and more physical if they want to have any shot at competing for another championship. 10 years ago, the Warriors changed the game. They proved that you could win playing small ball and leaning on three-point shooting. They flipped the entire NBA on its head and set the standard for the modern game. Since then, they've been to the finals 6 times and won 4 championships. That's a dynasty, no doubt about it. But if they want to add one more banner to the rafters at Chase Center, they're going to have to adapt again, because the competition is not standing still. Dallas is about to reload with Cooper Flagg and likely another point guard to hold things down. While Kyrie Irving recovers next season, Denver is still a massive team anchored by Nikola Jokic. Minnesota's got that two-headed monster with Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. And after what we just saw this postseason when Steph went down, we all saw how limited the Warriors were when it came to matching up physically. They couldn't buy a bucket, and they sure couldn't handle Rudy Gobert in the paint. So where does Golden State go from here? The answer is pretty clear. Free agency is going to be the primary avenue for improvement. The Warriors don't have a ton of tradable assets, but their biggest chip right now is Jonathan Kuminga, and as the trade market heats up, you better believe things are going to get interesting for the front office. We're already hearing that teams like the Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls are showing interest. The Heat, after missing out on Kevin Durant, are looking for ways to stay competitive. The Bulls, well, after the Lonzo Ball experiment fell apart, and the DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine combo didn't get them over the hump, they're exploring options too. They need pieces that fit alongside guys like Josh Giddey if they're planning for the future. And it's not just about free agency. The draft is coming up, and while the Warriors only hold the 41st pick, they need to nail this selection. They've got to look at guys who can contribute right away, or at least develop into solid rotation players quickly. One name that keeps coming up is Hanson Young. Now, he might be a bit of a project, but we're talking about a player who put up 25 and 12 in the Chinese Basketball Association. That's impressive, especially considering there hasn't been a real standout from that league since Yi Jianlian and of course Yao Ming before him. But beyond the stats, here's why Hanson Young makes sense. The Bay Area has a massive Asian population, and bringing in a player like him could create an instant fan favorite. Imagine Chase Center packed with fans rallying behind a 7-footer rookie center. That's the kind of energy this team could use coming off the bench. Or who knows, maybe even starting at some point in his first season. But let's not stop there. The Warriors need to be aggressive in trade talks, even if it means acting as a facilitator in bigger deals just to collect additional assets. Because come July, when the sign-and trade market opens up, they're going to need every tool at their disposal to reshape this roster. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. A subtle ripple of concern is reportedly making its way through the Golden State Warriors' inner circle, following unconfirmed reports of a potential injury to superstar Stephen Curry during a recent team practice. While details remain scarce and official statements are yet to be released, the word on the street is that Curry may have sustained some sort of knock, prompting an immediate halt to his participation in the session. Sources close to the team who spoke on condition of anonymity hinted at a minor discomfort that caused Curry to pull up during drills. The exact nature of the alleged injury is still under wraps, with speculation ranging from a tweaked ankle to a muscle strain. No definitive word has emerged regarding his status for upcoming games, leaving fans and pundits alike to anxiously await further information. This rumored setback, if true, would undoubtedly send shivers down the spines of the Warriors faithful. Curry, the team's undisputed leader and offensive engine, has been the linchpin of their success. For years, any time missed by the perennial All-Star could have significant implications for the team's aspiration. While the organization is known for its cautious approach with player health, particularly with its most valuable assets, the timing of this unconfirmed incident adds an extra layer of apprehension. Could this be a mere precautionary measure, or is there something more substantial at play? The silence from the Warriors camp only fuels the rumor mill, leaving everyone to wonder about the extent of the potential issue and how it might impact Golden State's formidable journey ahead. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news, subscribe to our channel, and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.